Shalom. First of all, let's start off by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakadash. Double honors that teaches elders and apostles of great millstone, likewise, brothers. Putting out this truth, faithfully, fearlessly feeding the sheep and the brothers and sisters tuning in. Shalom. Today's lesson, Edom is under pressure. Okay, and this is the empire of Edom. Okay, so-called white man's empire, particularly here, Great Babylon, America, which is where we reside. Let's start off with the first scripture. This is the book of Isaiah 24. And starting with verse 10, it reads, "The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. There is crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone." And to Shai for Donald Trump, he's doing a great job in ruining Great Babylon, America. In particular, we're seeing the tears and cries and agony and sadness and loss of mirth from our daily enemies, which is these low-level peasant white, so-called white people, that have been the mean ones that have been putting hands on Jakes. Okay, these are the ones that hang us from the trees and the ones that prevent Jakes from moving forward, in the job market. When there were jobs here in Great Babylon, America, these are the ones that look at you on the sidewalk, hooked on drugs and alcohol and living in squalor and poverty, and they felt proud of themselves that they could walk past you every single day seeing you in that mess. But now here they are crying. Let's take a look at this video.
Back in 2016, or even 2024, depending on which wave of Trumpism you subscribe to, the dream was simple. America was supposed to be great again. Factories would roar back to life. Middle-class families would thrive, and our global dominance would be undeniable. That was the promise, right? Fast forward to today, and the reality is a bitter pill to swallow.
I am absolutely livid. I don't understand. My heart is so fucking broken right now, and I thought they were gonna be saved. And now here I am crying on TikTok again. But honestly, I'd rather cry about this on TikTok and people be aware of what's happening, because of what in the actual
Now, she came up with a whole couple crashings and, crying as always, because you see these Edomites, they're the first one to tell you, strap up your boots and broaden up that shoulder, and stick out your chest, when they're on top, or their perception of being on top. But as soon as they face a little bit of problem, and we can imagine that there could be tens of thousands, if not millions like this, many of them will not go on TikTok or Facebook or YouTube and spill their personal business out there. But you can imagine many of them now popping pills somewhere in the bathroom, trying to attempt suicide or some other crap. And it's just going to become very obvious real soon exactly how they really feel about their situation. And we'll get further into that in the book of Second Ezra, which goes into how they respond being under pressure. Okay, this is the book of Jeremiah 10 and 2. It reads, "Thus said the Lord, Yahweh Shemashai, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them." They're dismayed at what they see going on right now. We're not dismayed what's going on. Okay, and when I say we, I'm talking about the hopefully lack, okay, of Yasharala, Israel, so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Latino. In fact, we throw up prayers every single day, curses against this place, hoping that it will fall even sooner and faster. Okay, and this is actually great news when we take a look at this, because the Lord already made promise that He's going to keep His elect ones safe during these times, when these pressure, okay, as we roughly paraphrasing here, wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of the times. Our knowledge that the fact that the Lord Yahweh Shemashai is bringing these judgments, okay, is keeping us stable. Henceforth, we are continuing on to make videos giving warning to the hopefully lack of Yasharala, also 1 and 2/3. You better repent, okay? You better repent. We have the Passover this week, okay? We have the Passover this week, and a lot of eyes is going to be on IUIC and see if they're going to be putting on a pony show, as they have always done each year. Okay, we already see what the judgment has come upon, that leader from, the Sakari, okay? Alizah. Okay, this is the book of Proverbs 20 and verse 24 reads, man's going out of the Lord, how can a man then understand his own way? Trump doesn't understand his own way. They're all talking about Trump, 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 Trump. Okay, let's take a look at a couple headlines here, because it's always fascinating to see how this man is really doing what the Lord Yahweh has him doing. Okay, you go into finance and you can see here stock market plunged today, NASDAQ had it for the worst day since 2022. Dow sinks 1,000 points. This ain't nothing new. This happens all the doggone time. We already know you have your elites that are behind, crushing the market, then they'll pump money back into it to bring it back up and artificially inflate it. They play this yo-yo games because they allow people to get comfortable, but then they'll turn around and just snap, crackle, pop, pull the rug from up underneath them. It says, Tesla shares plunged 15%, suffering steepest drop in 5 years. Okay, which happens to be what? 5 years ago happens to be what? 2020, during the time when you had that C-19 going on, when it was pushing, that venom juice to go into everybody, starting with the so-called blacks and Latinos here in Great Babylon, America. Okay, what it says here, Delta Airlines slashes earnings outlook on weaker U.S. demand, sending shares down. Okay, so that means right now you're going to see layoffs is going to start coming down. This is going to be the reactive process of these these business executives, because they get to keep their cushy paying job. So let's get rid of the unskilled workers, okay, which is you low-level Edomites, okay, you're unskilled, okay. So the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, okay, has had you thinking all the while that, you're somebody, okay, this is your kingdom. Let's go to the book of Isaiah 19 and verse 3, and it says, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. Now, this is after the Lord has set the Egyptians against Egyptians. Right now, we're in the phase where there's just all words going in. There's a disagreement. Somebody has to, be in the power seat and make decisions, or at least sign, papers, which is what you see Trump is in, okay? And he's doing a great job, okay, bringing this place down. It says, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to wizards. You realize that these Edomites are actually praying to demons. Okay, they're doing that stuff, man. They rolling that damn dice and going, what's going to happen next? They're paranoid, man. It says, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hands of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Now, we understand this, okay? We understand that Trump is the cruel Lord. Okay, the Lord Yahweh is orchestrating all of this because he's using the wicked elites, okay, who control Trump, okay, to do what he's doing, okay. But we do understand this, and this is what really brings a smile on our faces, okay. You can hear you can hear my joy in my voice, okay. This is Deuteronomy 37. It says, and the Lord Yahweh Shai, thy power, will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. Now, you can go into Deuteronomy 28, okay, and starting from verse 16 all the way down to 68, and you can read the curses that are upon us, some horrific judgments we've been under, and we're still currently in those judgments, okay. And the only ones who are really not going to perish are going to be the 1/3, hopefully, elect of Yasharallah. But the rest of you people, you're not covered by the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, especially you heathens and you other tribes are there. You're not covered. One thing we've been told, Psalms 146:3, put not your trust in princes, nor in the Son of Man, in whom there is no help. Y'all see, you Edomites, you went and you woke. Well, it's your king, okay, and the Lord has given you a cruel Lord, okay. But we've always warned you, Jakes, about going and doing that. It really, it's so annoying when you see a nigger, okay, and I don't, it's a rough word to use, but the niggers, come on, so-called blacks and Latinos and Native Americans who have their mindset, in Great Babylon, America. You actually gonna waste your time and actually go stand up and vote. Great goodness, man. You seriously actually gonna waste your time? I mean, you could do so much other thing with your doggone time. Okay? So you have in your mind, Babylon is your home, okay? Yes, we're physically here. Got it. All right, got it. We're physically here. But you actually really believe, after looking throughout the history of what they have done to us and things that they have hidden from us and the violence against us, you really believe that this man is actually going to do something good that's going to benefit you? Come on. All right? The proof is what you're seeing right here, right now. Okay, you see this man, okay, is systematically, okay, through his decisions. Okay, we brought up many double on time where this man, he runs businesses into the ground. That's what he does. Okay, he's known for that. So what do you expect, you Edomites? What do you expect?
Economy isn't booming, it's bleeding. Prices are skyrocketing. Inflation is squeezing the life out of everyday Americans. And instead of being the global leader, we're watching our allies pull away, treating us like the reckless friend who's become too unpredictable to be trusted.
So Canada just said they're going to make Donald Trump feel pain and will cut off all energy from Ontario to America should Donald Trump follow through with his tariffs.
So what this young man is talking about is, when you take a look at this here, it says Ontario hits power exports to U.S. with 25% surcharge as trade war escalate. Okay, here's the deal. Okay, Great Babylon, America, okay, is going to last until the very end, until the Mashiach returns and destroy this place. It's going to be a spectacular, okay, end to Great Babylon, America. So these are the countries that are trying to like go through the trade war. It's laughable. Let's take a look at this other piece here, what it says here, because you can see how in this part right here, when you take a look at it, it says Ontario electricity surcharge to have little effect in Michigan, officials say. Okay, you can go into the book of Psalms 10 and 5, Psalm verse 5, and it reads, His ways are always grievous, thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. This is puffing at his enemies. In fact, this is how America really is, okay? And it's going to eventually hit America, because the Lord Yahweh is going to set it up that way, and we are going to see that. But think about a boxer showboating. Take a look at this. And that's what happened when you showboat, okay? You get knocked the fuck out. And this is what is coming to Great Babylon, America, because it is under pressure.
Hi guys, I just wanted to tell you that the biggest grocery store provider in Denmark, a huge company, they've started putting black stars on the front, in the store. And a black star means this is a product that's not from the US. So they're supporting us into saying products from outside of the US. We are doing this. I am doing it anyway. I am boycotting any American products.
And that's the terrifying part. An America without allies. Imagine a country that once led the world now standing alone, drowning in its own self-inflicted wounds. No safety net, no global partnerships, just a superpower in freefall, struggling to understand how it got here. The hardest thing to admit? For many, this wasn't just a president. They believed in him. They fought for him. And now, they're left trying to make sense of a broken promise, wondering if the America they dreamed of was ever even possible.
Well, we can tell you exactly what's going on with that. Okay, when you go into the book of Jeremiah 49, verse 13 reads, For I have sworn by myself, said the Lord Yahweh Shai, that Bozrah shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual wastes. Okay, which means there's going to be a whole lot of problems going on here in Great Babylon, America. Okay, now while some parts of this country is going to be far worse than others, as we've seen, pretty much in your lifetime, you've seen riots in different places. You have, each state has a government, and they have, they impose their own taxes and, certain state laws. And then, of course, you have the federal laws and the federal taxes. But when you go into the states, individual states, they have to pay for their own police, okay? And to have to provide law enforcement in that particular state, town, okay, or the city, the capital of that particular state, okay. So you have basically you have all of these events that's going to be taking place, that certain places are going to have more than others, okay. But cumulatively, Great Babylon America, okay, is going to be a waste. When you take a look at that word reproach in the online etymology dictionary, it means a rebuke, blame, censure directed against a person, object, object of scorn and contempt, okay, disgrace, state of disgrace, which is what this place is now going into. This was, the whole of the United States passport was, you were the cream of the crop everywhere you went on the earth. You showed it and you go, wow, you're an American? Yes. And it was like, there was a difference in the way people look at you. That is about to change. And what you're seeing right now is even the low level people are starting to feel that they're not as privileged as they thought that they were going to be. Of course, a place where you were conditioned for instant gratification, nobody's seen it. Nobody's seen it right now because everybody, you be on your leaves, but you expect to be, have this instant gratification. It says, I have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh Shai, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against her and rise up to the battle. So this is going to start off with the mind. People hate the American product. They hate America. They hate the America way of life. They're just starting to hate it. Okay, that's just going to be in the mind, and then it's going to start to become physical as these nations start to prepare themselves to just come up against this place. Okay, the battle that the Lord Yahweh Shai sent into the heart of these nations. It says, for lo, I will make thee small among the heathens and despised amongst men. What she's speaking about is that the spies that you see now is growing for Great Babylon America on this earth. Okay, and that's that pressure mounting up.
For many of Trump's own voters, the disillusionment is hitting hard. The man they rallied behind, the one who promised to fix Washington, drain the swamp, and put America first, is instead making America isolated. Businesses are suffocating under chaotic policies, and the trade wars that were meant to make us stronger have left us weaker. Countries we once counted on, the ones who had our backs in times of crisis, are now keeping their distance, watching from the sidelines as we stumble.
Donald Trump is single-handedly making the rest of the world realize they do not need the United States, and day by day making the United States less and less of a player on the global stage.
This is Jeremiah 50 and starting with verse 26, and it reads, come against her from the utmost border, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly, let nothing of her be left. Now you can destroy a place through two ways. One, you can do it in a physical way through shooting missiles and going doing a ground war campaign. And the other way to destroy a place is, what Great Babylon America has always been doing, which is use embargoes, don't trade, sabotage, okay, economically. And that's another way you can destroy a place. So now America doesn't have allies, and every war that America's been going into, they've always had allies backing them up, okay? When they went to Afghanistan, when they went to Iraq, they had these other allied nations, okay, the NATO nations. But right now, we can see right now, as Trump said he wants to leave NATO, you have, these other countries over there, the European Union, they're having meetings without the United States, and they're saying, hey, you know what? We're going to raise our debt ceiling and start arming ourselves to the T, because we now have to provide, okay, the protection of the members of NATO, okay, against their enemy, okay, Russia and China, okay. So right now they're seeing that maybe we can actually do this. It says, this is verse 29 reads, call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about, let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her works, according to all that she had done, do unto her, for she had been proud against the Lord Yahweh against the Holy One of Israel. So the same way how America's putting embargoes, starving out nations, sabotaging them, this is going to now happen to this place, okay? Because really what you have is a lot of fools running this country right now. People are soft as cat poop in its nation, ignorant, okay, looking for instant gratification, and if they're not getting it instantly, even though their wicked Lord said, hey, you're going to feel a little pain for a little while, you see the state of the mind of the people over here. They cannot even wait and say, you know what, maybe a year down the road his plan may actually work. People can't wait, so they're going to be making decisions, okay, erratically, that is going to even further, okay, the pain that they're feeling right now. Okay, we can go into the book of Revelation 17 and Psalm 16, and the thing that we are going to see taking place real soon, okay, concerning the European Union is this. It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, which America is that whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For power hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, unto the words of power shall be fulfilled. So this is what's going to happen. Okay, individuals, nations against America is not going to work at all. But when you have a conglomerate of nations and they've managed to thrive, okay, without really replicating the lifestyle of these Babylonians, then they realize that they can function, and they're going to really lay some sore strokes on Great Babylon America, and that's what's coming, and we know it.
Yes, we have seen so many things with budget cuts to like USAID, and places like China are stepping in to fill the void, to provide aid to the world. We're seeing where we are attacking Ukraine, and President Zelensky and the rest of the world is coming to their aid, and Europe is basically ramping up to take the place of the United States. What's going to happen when Ukraine is able to defeat or push Putin and Russia into a place where they have to make peace? And it's because Europe was the driving force, not the United States. The rest of the world is understanding through these tariffs that Canada can buy local. Canada can buy their own made goods in the grocery store, that Mexico doesn't need to rely on the United States as much, that Europe, through 25% tariffs, is going to start turning inward towards themselves and not need us. How are we not understanding that this is a global market? How does Donald Trump not understand that? And every day he is making the United States less and less essential in the global market, until the point where everybody else is going to realize that they can sustain life without the United States. They can source more things from each other, from their own countries within their continent. They can source things from China. They can source things from wherever else. And they do not need to rely on America either at all, or at least as heavily as they have done in the past. He is crippling this country for decades, because even once Donald Trump is gone away, the distrust of Americans will still linger, because we picked him to be our president. The American people voted for Donald Trump, and so we're all going down with the ship. But we're going to start feeling the effects when the whole world is now turning against us as one of the bad guys, and they're not going to be buying our products. They're not going to be helping us. They're not going to be supplying us with things. And we're going to start feeling those effects in a heavy, heavy way.
Seeing these people are in darkness because they're focusing on an individual, because this is all they know. See, these people are not the chosen. These people were created for destruction. And this is why you see they're putting all of their heart and their mind and soul into what a man can do, not even understand the deeper or the bigger picture. But see us there, hopefully like of Yasharala age when it's the watchman, we can go into the book of 2nd Ezra 15 and Psalm 14, because we can tell you exactly what he's thinking about or what he's talking about. It's this: woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Okay, so the whole earth, people that have their hope into this place. Okay, for the sword and the destruction draw it nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. It's really comical to see people walk around with their head up their ass, and they really believe that they somehow is going to retire. They've set enough money aside, and they're gonna, they got it to make it for the next 20 years. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Okay, because if you're in this ministry, you know, or it should be in your spirit, that things can go south. And I mean, when I say south, I mean horrible and extremely violent anytime soon. Okay, and I'm, Brotherson was bringing up videos and talking about the fact that they're looking to go digital with the digital somewhere around June. It was supposed to actually happen in March, today actually, but then they push it out to June. Okay, so things are moving forward real quick. It says, for there should be seditions amongst men. in waiting one another, they should not regard their kings nor princes, and the cause of their actions shall stand in power. You see the disagreement right now. They're calling this dude a buffoon. Okay? So it's just a matter of time when you see more of these Edomites especially, hitting the streets, and, these are not going to be the ones you see out there strung out on drugs and stuff. These people are coherent. They're angry, and they're going to be coherent enough to pick up swords in their hand. And this is where this violence is going to come in. These aren't your drug out, strung out, encampment, doggone people, those you see out there right now. A whole set of people are going to be homeless real soon, and they're not going to accept it the way we see their predecessors are accepting it right now. It says, a man shall desire to go into, let me actually go back to 16 again. It says, for there should be sedition amongst men who wait on one another. They should not regard their kings nor princes, and the cause of their actions shall stand in power. This is going to be state, and then this is going to be continental. And this is going to be global too. A man shall desire to go into a city and should not be able, for because of their pride, the city should be troubled, the houses should be destroyed, fire, people invading the house and burning, and all kinds of craziness. People use all kinds of slick way to get through your door. And man shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So all these flashy neighbors, if you live in one of those neighborhoods where people are flashy, get nice cars, always looking like they got it going on like that, they're a target. Okay, now not necessarily the man of the Lord that's going to target them, but they're going to be other people are going to target them. And when it's all said and done, the dust is clear. Maybe you walk inside and go get yourself some food and some other stuff like that. And this is how the Lord is going to be providing his elect. Okay, other people are going to be slaughtering each other. So those preppers out there, they're prepping the food for the elect. Okay, they're prepping the food for the elect to be saved like that. But this is what this man is talking about right here, but he doesn't understand that.
And that brings us to the real question. Where does this all lead? If Trump's tariffs continue down this path, are we looking at a short-term political play or the start of a long-term economic headache? Experts warn that trade wars rarely end with winners, just rising costs, strained relationships, and everyday people footing the bill. But what do you think? Are these policies really putting America first, or are they pulling us further away from the rest of the world? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear from you. And if you love deep dives into the biggest stories shaping our world, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update from TrendFeed. More thought-provoking stories are on the way.
We can summarize this, okay? So this the author of this video. He said, what do you think? Well, it ain't what we think. It's what's written. Okay, let's go to the book of Ezekiel 35, verse 1. It says, moreover, the word of the Lord, Yahweh Shemashah, came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus said the Lord power, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Okay? Desolate of morale, desolate of food or resources, desolate of mirth. Okay? It's going to be made desolate. And it says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So there it is. And we believe through the Spirit that Trump is going to exercise all of these things that's written here in the scripture, leading up to the MOTB, which is the mark of the beast. Okay, and then, well, that's a whole different lesson how that's going to turn out. Lord willing, the elect was edified to turn. I would like to give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakakadash, Shalom.